Hey guys, how's it going? It is Drake. So, over the last week, we've seen the formation of Lucasfilm Games. They came out with pretty quick announcements. Machine Games, the team behind the Wolfenstein reboot, are working on an Indiana Jones game. But more importantly, to the topic of this video, Ubisoft have been tasked with the creation of a story-driven open-world game. Now, this makes me happy for numerous reasons, most of which, I started writing this video on Tuesday and outlined exactly what I thought a next-gen Star Wars game would look like. But with the Ubisoft announcement, it basically reinforces it. The point of interest here is the studio that Ubisoft have selected to work on the game, Massive Entertainment, the creators of The Division. With these guys at the helm, it fits in line with my outline for what I think this game could actually be. They say story-driven, open world, and people wouldn't be wrong to think Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, etc. But that isn't where Massive's expertise lies. It lies in a sort of games as a service. My expectation here is that we're looking at something that is, yes, a game as a service, but also a multimedia crossover. Disney will want a platform, think Destiny, where they can have a sustained player base, as well as work across multiple mediums. Those big events you see in Fortnite where the gaming world kind of pauses for a second, yeah, they really want that. They want to be able to have a Star Destroyer crash into a planet in one of their 20 new TV shows, and have players all across the world log in and see their game world change because of the events of a TV show or a film. They want to introduce a new character and you go to your game and immediately see that new character. Like, this is the level that they want to operate on, really big picture. I could be wrong, but ultimately the games as a service model will have the shareholders at Disney foaming at the mouth. It's something gaming is uniquely positioned to do, and there is no better franchise or IP on the planet better equipped at doing this than Star Wars. So what else can we expect from a next-gen Star Wars game? Well, I wouldn't be all too shocked if we see another Sony exclusive. Insomniac knocking out the park a couple of years back with Spider-Man will put them in good favour with Disney. So don't be all too shocked if Disney come knocking again for a Star Wars game at one of their first-party studios. If Sony really wanted, they could use their crown jewel, Naughty Dog. I don't know how well that would go down though. It may be one of those like, yeah, it's the biggest IP in the world, but we still want to retain our creative freedom. And I wouldn't be all too shocked if Sony would just say, okay, that's totally fine. You guys keep making Uncharted and Last of Us and new IP you're working on. I would totally understand if Sony paid respect to Naughty Dog in that area. Regardless of what happens though, over the next few years, the best news to come out of all of this is that EA don't have the exclusivity over Star Wars anymore in the, game space that is. That said, over the last few years, they've been perfectly acceptable games. Like, they've brought out really good games. Battlefront 2 has seen a really strong revival. Battlefront 1 was really good. And the Fallen Order games have really, or the Fallen Order game rather, has had a really strong reception. It's not totally for me, but the fact that the Star Wars canon accepts it and that the game has been received overall reasonably well and accepted is really strong and impressive. Squadrons also came out not so long ago, and that received really favourable results from reviewers, and players even enjoyed it as well. But this new approach from Disney and Lucasfilm Games is overall a really good thing, not only for EA but for consumers. This takes the stress off of EA while they still get the benefit of other people putting out great games. If three studios, let's say Devolver Digital or Ubisoft, put out great Star Wars games, and they build up this good consumer mindset of, hey, Star Wars put out good games now, like anything to do with this IP is good, they immediately benefit from that. And they don't have to deal with the stress. That is probably the biggest victory here. They don't have to worry about, oh god, we're the only place in the world putting out Star Wars games. This sort of reminds me of what Riot are doing with the League of Legends IP, giving smaller developers with interesting ideas the opportunity to come through their doors and basically pitch ideas to them. Like, hey, what have you got? Like, what small, interesting stories can you tell? Is it part of a bigger idea? Is it an MMO? Is it this small little story-driven game that's, feels really tight and compact and you can complete it in, 5 hours or something? I'm really interested to see what happens from all of this. So just like with the TV and film side of Star Wars, it seems like Star Wars is having a revival in gaming as well. I want you to tell me in the comments down below, what studio do you want to see make a Star Wars game? And not only what studio, but what genre is it? I want details here. I want to know what you want to do in your Star Wars version. For me personally, I was overruled a few years ago, I guess, because Star Wars 13 was my thing. It was Uncharted, but Star Wars, and it got cancelled. And then obviously Visceral Studios were working on a Star Wars game and that got cancelled as well. And Amy Hennig was the writer for that game, who was the writer for Uncharted 1 and 2. So I don't have the best of luck when it comes to predicting Star Wars games. Hopefully I'm a little more on the ball here, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the comments.